it's also kind of parallels to Spencer Dutton. Like there's a lot of parallels between these types of men. And we were filming season 2. I was like, this is kind of Batman-y. You know what I mean? Like this like quiet, vengeful, like deeply emotional man who's just like, I'm gonna plow through whatever I can to do what's right for mine. It's a really powerful archetype, and it's very similar to Batman in some ways. You know what I mean? Yeah, Bruce Wayne. Yeah.
Brandon, how you doing? Thank you so much for joining us today.
What's up, guys?
What's up? We're such huge fans of Spencer Dutton as a character, and obviously of you as well. So getting to chat with you today is a huge honor.
Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Brandon, season 1 of 1923 was a huge success, and fans have been eagerly awaiting and anticipating the next chapter. How does it feel stepping back into Spencer's shoes and going on this journey?
Man. I mean, that was shooting the second season of the show was the most fun I've ever had acting in general ever in my career. It's funny because season 1, I was very nervous and didn't know what I was doing, and you know, we didn't know what we were making. I didn't know what that character was. You were sort of all figuring out what the tone is and what it's going to be, and then that's sort of working so well. And then having this, you know, it lived in the air now for almost a year and a half before we went back to film season 2. So just a whole different level of confidence from everybody, I think, knowing what it is that we're making and knowing the character. And then it's the longest I've ever spent with any character. So just, you know, walking around with him for a year and a half between seasons was kind of a trip, and getting older with him and then stepping back into it, just a couple years older myself, you know, was really interesting, just how he felt, because I feel that, you know, I'm 2 years older, and I'm in my early 30s now, almost mid 30s. So it's like, those are big years, you know, so it's feeling his evolution through me and vice versa. It was the best. I miss it so much already. Yeah, it was such a great experience.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, when you look at Spencer as a character in these 2 seasons that we've gotten or we're getting right now, he's no stranger to kind of getting caught in these wild situations. You're fighting lions, elephants, and at one point even a sinking ship. How much of yourself do you feel like you're bringing to this character to bring that wild nature out of him?
I mean, I think for me, like the performances that resonate the most are the ones where like the actor has merged as much of himself into it as humanly possible, right? Because that's the most truthful and authentic thing you can get. And I mean, I love Daniel Day-Lewis, and I love Christian Bale, and I love these guys. And there's a couple of people who sort of get way outside of themselves in a lot of character work, but then somehow manage to still bring these like their essence through it. And I think that's kind of the trick. In season 2, I tried to bring even more of myself because I felt more confident in who he was, and I did feel that. And I love getting dirty and doing physical stuff, and I grew up doing construction and swinging a hammer and stuff. So there's definitely a reason I ended up playing the guy. Yeah.
Was there any sequence this year that really pushed you physically?
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely some physical stuff there. You know, I love doing stunts though. It's never like, I'm never bummed about it. I love it. I'm like, oh, I can jump off of a train. That's fun. Let's do that. Never done that before.
Yeah, if Tom Cruise can do it, you know, what's stopping Brandon?
Yeah, and he's got like almost 30 years on me. I can do it. Yeah.
Exactly. There's this great line in season 2, in a moment that you have where you say, people aren't defined by what happens to them. They're defined by what they do. And we're curious, you know, how does that philosophy relate to your own journey as an actor?
Well, and he says, more often than not, they're defined by what they don't do. They're defined by what they do, and more often than not defined by what they don't do. And I think there's a Denzel interview that I saw years ago, and he was saying that saying no is the only power you have as an actor, because everyone wants a job and everyone needs a job, but like he was like, you're defined by the jobs you don't do more than you're defined by the jobs you do. And I think that's something I've always had, even when I was broke, living in my car, or you know, you get opportunities, and I would say no to certain things because it just didn't align with like where I saw myself going. And those are really difficult decisions to make because everyone around you is like, are you out of your mind? You have no money. And I was like, well, I'd rather not have any money and hold out for the thing that I really see for myself and I envision than sacrifice that and then let my flame dwindle, you know? So that's something that fortunately I've had for some reason the whole time. So I can definitely relate to what Spencer's talking about, for sure.
Definitely.
At the end of season 1, Spencer and Alex unwillingly part ways, but their goal remains the same. How was it working on that relationship with Julia, knowing you'd be so far apart this season?
It's just so tragic, it's so heartbreaking, and they're so madly in love with each other and have such an unspoken, sort of explainable connection, and he was really able to get that across, and how he wrote that first season, and how it ends with them getting separated. I mean, it just guts you, and this sort of magnetism they have to literally go through anything they have to find each other. And I just can't wait for people to see it, because he did it in such a profoundly beautiful way. Like, I can't stress it enough. I was reading these scripts the first time, I was like, damn, this is like, yeah, you get emotional reading them. So it's people are gonna love it. I just know they will.
And that type of love story is not often seen, so it's just so nice to get it in such a refreshing way.
Yeah, there's no malice, there's no manipulation, there's no malice, it's just such a beautifully pure thing. It's like, you don't often see that in contemporary media. There's always like, someone's awful, or someone messed up big time or something, and it's like, no, they just really love each other, and they've been separated by circumstance and not through someone's, just someone did something awful. Like, granted, there was the duel and everything, but he kind of had to do that, and he didn't want to kill him, and it just happened. And so it's yeah, but it's such a beautiful thing to have a love so pure in something that's not corrupted by anything else.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Brandon, I have to compliment you. I think you have the best mustache in the business.
Thanks,
What's your
man.
secret to keeping it looking so damn good?
And like full disclosure, we're trying to get Anthony to grow a mustache too. So we need to.
Yeah, it's coming in, dude. Yeah, I'm filming this movie now where I don't have a mustache. Yeah, so I haven't had one. I was a little bit of facial hair, but no. I had some semblance of a mustache for like 2 years, so it was kind of nice to shave it off, but I missed it. It's coming back for sure. It'll come back.
Brandon, before we wrap up, we have to ask, and there's this vacancy right now for the role of Batman in James Gunn's new DC universe, and we know you approve of the fan casting. What is it about that character that you love so much?
Oh, man. I mean, Batman's been my favorite comic book since I was a child, like a small child. And it's like secretly been my forever dream to be Batman. And then like, that's not something you want to like say too much, because people are like, oh, okay. And then I started seeing all this fan art, and I was like, oh, damn, like this, I like this. And I was like, this kind of makes sense. It kind of makes a lot of sense. And it's also kind of parallels to Spencer Dutton. Like, there's a lot of parallels between these types of men, and I just think I would crush that role, and I'd love to do it if it ever happens. I'd gladly do it. Yeah.
The fight that you have in the boat, that alone was such like a Batman fight where you're just pummeling those dudes. So
totally
love to see you in that role.
Well, that's the thing. Like, even when we were filming season 2, I was like, this is kind of Batman-y, like this like quiet, vengeful, like deeply emotional man who's just like, I'm gonna plow through whatever I can to do what's right for mine. It's a really powerful archetype, and it's very similar to Batman in some ways. You know what I mean? Yeah, Bruce Wayne. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, Brandon, thank you again so much for your time. We absolutely love the show. We love your character. We love you, and we really hope we get to talk to you down again in the future, hopefully for Batman.
Dude, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Thank you.